Arkwright's a key building in Manchester, and we were brought in to help design it to bring it up to current standards for tenants and to ensure that the new reception was in keeping with the building and the design that of the original architecture. So our scope was to strip out the first floor to create it ready for a new tenant to be able to move in, to be able to create a plug and play space on the second floor for tenants so that they could move straight in, just literally come and sit at the desk and they're ready to go. And then the main piece was to look at the reception area and the lift lobbies and to create a new wellness suite, as well as linking that with the new basement facility with showers and wayfinding signage. These key tenant areas which link the building throughout the floors are joined by a very impressive tiled staircase, which has a really strong brand aesthetic and colour palette. What we wanted to do is make sure that we worked with local suppliers, which we do anyway, but actually on this one we had some local artists who came in and we briefed them to be able to pick up on the architecture and the colour palette and create some unique artwork that was displayed throughout each lift lobby in the building, and then culminated in a big piece on the ground floor to be able to give interest and excitement that linked all of the floors together and kept in with the aesthetic and the design of the new space.
The actual process of making art is art to Fiona, and that blew my mind. Just little things like you're cleaning your screen off of a Karcher, and I started looking at things in a completely different way, and it's only through being with Fiona and chatting with her, and we'd have a couple of wines, and next thing we're like, oh my god, we're going to get a podcast, and like, you know, we're going to change the world. Not really had like a massive project like this where we've worked together. They've always been like one-off prints or like little bits of stuff we've worked on. Your dad, Kenneth.
Yeah, I knew that Kenneth.
Good old Kenneth.
Good old Ken. I knew that he would like what Craig had done at Renica, so I took him down and showed him it, and then I think that's what sort of planted the seed that I think Pippa maybe came to him and was like, Arkwright, and they were looking for artwork, and my dad suggested, showed her Craig's stuff, and maybe suggested that because they were looking for a 3D piece as well, that maybe I could help with that because of my sculpture background. Our work is very similar in terms of like, I think what we want to convey through the work. Like I really want to convey that energy or that what's taking place in the process, and I don't necessarily like always a finished piece of work. I like how you've got there or how you can bring the elements of that process into the final work, so it's really quite visible in a like the end artwork, how it's been made. You can see little pockets of that.
I'm constantly learning stuff about myself and my practice and how I can change it, and it's almost like you've gone back to college in a way, not like university or like a foundation course, and your buttons are being pushed and you're like, oh, I'm not too sure about that, and it's sort of like letting go and let that process sort of take you on a journey in a way.
I think collaboration is a big thing as well. Like I've always liked, like, because you're collaborating with material, so like collaborating with another person is just collaborating with more material. And his background, his knowledge, then you've got all of that resources, and my background knowledge coming from two different perspectives. I think you can really, then you can start layering, doing lots of different things from different perspectives.
So the last developers that I worked with, he randomly, I think it was like our second meeting, he randomly just said, oh, like he was coming out with loads of ideas of what we could do like for the space, and then he was like, oh, we can have like a coffee table book. Just randomly threw it out, and I was like, oh, funnily say that I used to be an editorial designer, and that's like what I would do with magazines and books. And he was like, yeah, just put it on the price, and like we'll sort it, we'll get it done. And I don't think he understood to what level like that I can do a book, and he just expected some sort of like little pamphlet thing. So like basically he wanted to sort of showcase me as an artist, and he wanted to give me an opportunity to sort of take over the space. Like the space that they had was already art, and they'd stripped back all the furnishings, so they were like, look, like sell yourself really, like talk about you as an artist and talk about the process and how it all works and happens. So that was basically the book really. It was just a documentation of like from start to finish, And then after that, it was just sort of me in the studio. So that's out there.
Yeah.
So you can see how much room I've taken up.
Whole thing.
Yep.
Colour testing.
This was why the boss was on holiday. So yeah, all these like colour tests, and it was literally just me documenting every single part of it. So like all these little tiny little prints, testing colours of how it's going to work. And then I literally filmed the whole process on a little 360 camera thing, and I would just take sort of screenshots and put them all together, and there were 3 pieces, so there's like sort of like visuals of each piece, just so that people can see like the start and the end, really, like action shots.
Yeah, it's nice to see itself.
And I'm not really good with words, so I wanted it to just be more of a picture look.
Speak for itself.
Yeah, basically. And then there was like cringe little interview
We
situation.
did a little funny
We had a couple of wines.
situation.
We had a couple of wines, and like, because there was like, talk about you as an artist and your practice, and like, it's one of the worst questions really, because I don't.
It's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah,
isn't it?
to
And you just
explore,
feel like
it's-
a little bit of a
Goofball.
yeah, it's a bit much, isn't it?
So we recorded
We tried
it.
to make it
A
fun.
few wines. Yeah, Fiona interviewed me, and then I literally just like typed it all up the day after, and then put it in the book. So it was like an interview situation rather than going, so this is why I do this, and this is how this started.
Yeah.
And
We started with the archive material that we found. Like so the floor plans, things like that, pulling out different motifs of that. But then after feedback, they wanted to focus on the actual decorative elements of the building that are there now. We started working and creating like different geometric forms that we've taken from the actual shape of the building. So it was quite unusual, like architecturally, that they did a reversed E shape of the building, and it was on purpose, and it was to get light into the building because it was going to be such a big office building. So we liked that reversed E form, so we started working with that, and then pulling out different forms from the facade of the building, and we've sort of broke them down and abstracted them and honed in on certain sections. So that's like the basement reel from the ground floor, the stone. So this is us just really figuring out forms, composition, colour, how it's all maybe going to sit together. And also, as we were doing this, we started realising that actually these wall spaces that we've got on the stairwell are quite narrow and quite long. It's quite an unusual shape to create a composition in. So it's worked in our favour that we've come up with this sort of like more abstract composition idea, more of a cubist style.
this point here, it's more about just sort of not thinking too much and just doing. And just cutting shapes and taking inspiration from everything that we've seen collectively and just putting it onto paper and not being, oh, should I put that there? It's just literally just getting as much as you can out, and then hopefully
standing back
yeah,
and seeing
so
like,
things-
what's working,
things
what's
evolve
not.
naturally, I think, and then like your colour palette starts to evolve naturally, and then we was working separately at some points, and they were very similar stuff that we were doing. It was sort of almost like we was like in tune with each other in a way.
This sort of style with this noise from monoprint and this sketchily drawings that we've been doing from images and different motifs is what we think really works, and then we're starting to sort of combine that with more graphic, clean cut lines.
Stuff done in Illustrator.
So we really want to like layer up these different textures and different styles, and then paring back some of the actual photograph stuff, so it's not going to be as literal as what you see here. We were discussing that yesterday to get feedback. I think that's probably enough.
Yeah.